Is college football, college athletics, becoming too expensive for some programs to keep up? It's looking that way as we are getting a view of the numbers in the age of for-profit college athletics and what that might mean for the future of not just football, but all sports that are governed by the NCAA. What's up, kinfolk? It's RJ Young. I am not on a step mill. If this is your first time watching Adapt and Respond, thank you for joining us here. We talk college football year round. If you're into that, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, like this video, answer the question in the comments below. Do you expect that your favorite football team will continue to be playing football in the next 15 to 20 years? I ask that sincerely. My tongue is not really in my cheek. It is doing the math. And Kelly Zinn, who is new athletic director at Rutgers, gave a wide-ranging interview to NJ.com where she said, look, losing money here, and it's not for faint of trying, and it's not just because they've been sorry at football, but Rutgers being sorry at football has not helped them. They've got 2 winning seasons since they joined the Big Ten, and Greg Schiano has been, all in all, pretty damn good thing for Rutgers football, but Rutgers needs an Indiana kind of swoop here to reverse what has been a $500 million loss since joining the Big Ten. It just has not been good business for them, even as last year ticket sales actually increased for Rutgers. And you could see noticeably they've been pretty good, and they pretty good at turning out prospects. I've often said that if you could just rope off the state of New Jersey and send all those players to Rutgers, you would have a top 15 program, if not a top 10 program. When you think about some of the folks that have come out of New Jersey here in the last few years, I find it fascinating that guys like Saquon Barkley end up at Penn State, right? Or you keep going down like Minka Fitzpatrick comes to mind. And then take a look at some of the players they produce. Kyle Monangai, who's great for the Chicago Bears as a running back. Mohamed Toure, who's getting an 8th year to play college football, also transferred in from Rutgers playing linebacker. They've had some really good players. My goodness, you keep looking at it, especially at tailback. I mean, Isaiah Pacheco comes to mind, right? The Melton boys, Bo and Max. It's not because they don't turn out players. It's just they're not winning on the whole. And I think a lot of that's got to do with quarterback play, and that's one of the reasons you're willing to go for broke to get one. Darian Mensah and Duke versus Miami, right? Among other things. But this is not just Rutgers related. Earlier this week, I read in the Oklahoman, which is my state paper of record, Oklahoma State actually had a banner year, right? They brought in more than $150 million in revenue for this fiscal year, dating July 2024 to June 2025. And that includes, a pretty awful football season, 3-9. Mike Gundy's last as the head coach at Oklahoma State, but they're still facing a $5.2 million shortfall because of the increase in the amount of money that they have to spend to keep up with not just the rest of the Big 12, but revenue sharing is coming online. Name, image, and likeness means money you got to get paid. Salaries for coaches aren't going down as much as people want to talk about the money that is being paid to players. I mean, Lane Kiffin's going to make $13.2 million this year to be the head coach at LSU, and he's not even won a national championship, let alone coached a team in the college football playoff, though Ole Miss qualified for the college football playoff because he was head coach, right? We're also thinking about OSU from the standpoint of paying Mike Gundy to go away, for which Chad Weiberg, athletic director, said we took that money out of our general operating budget and did not ask our donors to contribute a dime to his buyout. They've hired Eric Morris, which I think is a really good and forward-thinking idea. They brought in a multi-million-dollar quarterback in Drew Mestemaker, and they expect to be good this year. Like, it would not shock me at all to find out at Oklahoma State as a top 25 program at some point in the 2026 season. Whether or not they can hold on to that all the way through December, we'll see. But, Eric Morris has been a quarterback whisperer of quarterback whisperers, and that's what you're betting on. For Patrick Mahomes, Baker Mayfield to Mestemaker here, you've seen some of the things that he's been able to do as a play caller. Cam Ward at Washington State, right? Among others, an incarnate word, since we're keeping up here. But overall, football revenue was down at Oklahoma State roughly $10 million at $56.9 million, but it's easily still surpassed its operating expenses of $32.8 million, which means the football program is profitable at Oklahoma State by some margin, even in a down year. It's things like men's basketball that showed a profit of $6.5 million up from 2.3 that people would look to and say, hey, that's not doing pretty good. But really, it's just overall the amount of money you got to put into other programs that keep you ahead of Title IX and also keep you functioning at the level playing field that you would like to see for a Power 4 program. Like, I talked to a lot of Oklahoma State fans here in Tulsa because, believe it or not, Tulsa is an Oklahoma State town. As much as a TU town, it's just the alumni base is just bigger at Oklahoma State, and it's an hour away, whereas the University of Oklahoma is 2 hours and 15, 2.5 hours away if you take the turnpike doing 80, right? And on the west side of the turnpike, it is absolutely crimson green. Oklahoma City is an University of Oklahoma town. But I say that to say I would run into more Oklahoma State fans in and around where I live, and they're not as, shall we say, focused on winning national championships or even conference championships. They're focused on having a good time. They're focused on their team not embarrassing them. They're focused on, we ought to be in every game that we play, and we should not get beat by TU at home. I think that is reasonable, honestly. As much as eye to eye, Mike Gundy and I, something else entirely, Oklahoma State fans and I, for the most part, get along in that we can talk ball, and I might feel a bit arrogant to them because I'm not satisfied with anything other than playing for championships at Oklahoma, but that makes me an Oklahoma fan, right? You don't expect to just be good, right? 7-5, 8-4. But when you take into account that Oklahoma State wasn't really any good, save about 3 years where Barry Sanders played football there, before Mike Gundy became head coach, you get a lot to understand there, right? Like, Mike Gundy had 2 losing seasons in 20 years as a coach at Oklahoma State, and I believe 18 as a head coach. Like, it's a wild number. And it was his first year and his last year. Everything else in there, they basically went bowling, right? Like, that's phenomenal. And that's how you make a profitable program at a place like Oklahoma State, an ag school, right? Where you're also just as interested in the wrestling team being good. By the way, those scholarships are endowed because Oklahoma State wrestling is a national treasure. But I wanted to do the segment to just point out that if you're losing $500,000 and you play in the Big Ten and you're still facing a $5.2 million shortfall and you play in the Big 12, what is it that other programs are going through right now? And how long before we see other programs do what Utah has done, which is sell a part of themselves for private equity so they can fund the rest of their college athletics for the foreseeable future? How close are we to that? These are things I think you need to take into account. But if you're losing $500 million, you really do need to take a look at, should we be doing this at a high level? Are we a university, or are we a football program with a university in tow?